everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of From the Mind of Jess on the AWB Ed Ventures Network. I'm your host, Jess Hansen, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you today, kicking off what I hope will be the first of many insightful conversations. Today, we're diving into a topic that, if you're a school leader like me, often occupies a significant portion of your thoughts, and sometimes your restless nights. The paramount importance of ensuring our students with significant health needs are not just present, but truly safe, supported, and exceptionally well cared for within our school environments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Hill, a longtime educator of nearly 40 years as a teacher, counselor, professor, and vice principal, and I've seen just about everything public schools can throw at you. And now I'm sharing my tales on my comedy podcast, Vice Principal Unoffaced. It's where school leadership meets laugh out loud stories, from underwear required parent-teacher conferences, yes really, to staff lounge confessions and more you won't believe. I'm telling it all with humor and a whole lot of heart. I also tackle the serious stuff too, like what schools really need to change and those behind-the-scenes moments no one talks about. So if you're ready to laugh, learn, and maybe even cry a little, but mostly laugh, join me and my 90-year-old mom, my unofficial co-host, on Vice Principal Unoffaced. New episodes drop bi-weekly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Trust me, this is one detention you'll actually look forward to.
This isn't merely about checking off a list of compliance items. It's fundamentally about cultivating a warm, welcoming, and secure space where every single child, irrespective of their unique health circumstances, feels genuinely secure and completely ready to engage with their learning journey. This isn't a task you can simply delegate to one person and then forget about. It demands a cohesive, school-wide commitment, a collective effort that spans from your pivotal role as the leader, down through your dedicated teachers, and even extends to crucial support staff like your bus drivers and cafeteria workers. It's about being prepared, truly and proactively prepared, for any eventuality that might arise. So let's really dig into why this conversation is so profoundly important right now. When it comes to a child's health, particularly those with complex medical needs, there is simply no margin for error, no room for oops. The stakes are incredibly high. If we falter in our care, even momentarily, the consequences can be immediate and severe. Ranging from critical medical emergencies that could have life-altering impacts to incredibly distressing and challenging situations for families who are already navigating so much. And yes, even significant legal ramifications for the school and district. But honestly, beyond all of those very real and pressing concerns, this entire discussion boils down to one fundamental principle: trust. When parents who have lovingly nurtured and protected their child with complex health needs make the courageous decision to send them to your school, they are entrusting you with their most precious gift. They are placing their deepest faith in your ability to safeguard their child's well-being. And when we, as a school community, demonstrate that we are not just aware, but genuinely prepared, proactive, and compassionate in our approach, we forge a bond of trust that is absolutely priceless. This foundational trust doesn't just benefit the students and families, it also profoundly impacts your staff. When your teachers, aides, and administrators know they are well-equipped, thoroughly trained, and supported in handling various health scenarios, it significantly boosts their confidence, reduces their anxiety, and creates a much more secure and effective learning environment for everyone. Think about the wisdom from organizations like the National Association of School Nurses, NASN. They consistently and unequivocally emphasize the absolutely vital and often irreplaceable role of a qualified school nurse. While we acknowledge that not every school is fortunate enough to have a full-time dedicated nurse on site every day, a reality many of us grapple with, the core message from NASN remains powerfully true: proactive, meticulous. And well-planned care is not just beneficial, it is absolutely essential. When we make the deliberate choice to prioritize the safety and specific needs of our most vulnerable students, we don't just protect them, we elevate the safety, security, and overall well-being of the entire school community, plain and simple. It creates a ripple effect of care and preparedness that benefits every single person within your school walls. All right, so with that understanding of why this matters so much, let's transition to the practical how. How do we actually achieve this level of readiness? It's less about grand, sweeping, one-time gestures and far more about implementing a series of smart, consistent, and deeply empathetic steps. First, and arguably the most crucial step, is the power of talking, and more importantly, truly listening. This is where the entire process begins. As soon as you are aware that a student with significant health needs will be joining your school community, whether they're new to the district, transitioning from another school, or even moving up from a lower grade level, the immediate action should be to convene a comprehensive team. We're talking about bringing together the parents, who are the ultimate experts on their child, their primary medical providers, with all necessary permissions, of course, your school nurse if you are fortunate enough to have one, the principal, the classroom teachers, special education staff, if applicable, and even crucial support personnel like your bus drivers, cafeteria staff, and after-school program coordinators. This initial conversation isn't merely a data sharing session. It's the foundational act of building a collaborative team. Together, you're all collectively figuring out, what does this specific child truly need to be safe, to thrive, and to fully access their education within this environment? The goal is for everyone to leave that meeting with a clear, shared understanding and a unified vision for the student's care. Next, and this is critical, remember that you need custom-made plans, not generic one-size-fits-all solutions. Forget about pulling out a standard form and just filling in the blanks. Every child with significant health needs should have their own meticulously tailored healthcare plan, HCP, and a corresponding emergency care plan, ECP. The HCP is your detailed guide. It delves into the specifics of their medical condition, outlines their daily routines, such as precise medication administration times and dosages, or schedules for blood sugar checks, and specifies what symptoms or changes in condition to watch for. The ECP, on the other hand, is your emergency playbook. It's a concise, action-oriented document that states, if X happens, do Y immediately. This includes absolutely vital information, like the exact criteria for administering an EpiPen, when to immediately call 911, and who to contact among the family's emergency contacts. These plans are not static. They need to be officially signed off by both parents and medical providers. And it's imperative that you review them thoroughly every single year, or whenever there's a significant change in the child's health status, medication, or care needs. To illustrate, think about a student with severe, life-threatening allergies. Their ECP must contain super clear, step-by-step instructions for recognizing anaphylaxis and administering an EpiPen. For a student managing diabetes, you'll need the daily routine for insulin or pump management in the HCP, alongside critical emergency steps for both low and high blood sugar events detailed in the ECP. Then there's the ongoing, absolutely non-negotiable process of training, and it needs to be intensely hands-on. Simply handing someone a written plan is insufficient. Your entire staff, or at least all relevant personnel, requires real, practical, and repeated training. If you have a student with severe allergies, for instance, every single adult who might interact with that child, from the classroom teacher to the substitute, the playground monitor, and the bus driver, needs to know how to recognize the signs of anaphylaxis and, crucially, how to properly use an EpiPen. This means actually practicing with a trainer device, feeling comfortable with the steps. For students with more complex, nuanced needs, a smaller, dedicated group of staff might receive deeper, specialized training directly from your school nurse or an external medical professional. Make these training sessions practical, encourage questions, and ensure they are refreshed regularly, at minimum, annually, or more frequently if there are new staff or significant changes in student needs. After that, it's about gearing up appropriately and keeping that gear ready and accessible. This means going beyond just a basic first aid kit. If a student has asthma, their prescribed inhaler needs to be readily accessible but securely stored. If a child manages diabetes, glucagon, if prescribed, needs to be immediately available. EpiPens, as often required by law, need to be in easy-to-grab, clearly marked locations throughout the school, and you absolutely must ensure they are not expired. This seems obvious, but it's a detail that can be easily overlooked. Seriously, implement a system to check these vital items frequently and maintain a log of their locations and expiration dates. Finally, and this is where true preparedness shines, practice makes perfect, so conduct drills. Just as we regularly conduct fire drills or lockdown drills, let's extend that proactive mindset to practicing our health emergency responses. You don't need to simulate a real medical crisis with a child, which could be traumatizing. Instead, you can walk through the steps of an emergency with your staff. Who is responsible for calling 911? Who retrieves the emergency medications? Who is tasked with contacting parents or guardians? These dry runs are incredibly valuable. They help everyone remember their specific role, build confidence in their ability to act decisively, and crucially, highlight any weak spots or inefficiencies in your plan before a real emergency hits. It's about building muscle memory for crisis response. So, once you've diligently put all this foundational preparation in place, how do you sustain that vital safety net throughout the entire school year and, indeed, year after year? It's about maintaining a state of constant, vigilant awareness, fostering genuinely open and empathetic communication, and cultivating a pervasive "we're all in this together" mindset across your entire school community. First, to maintain clarity and accountability, designate a clear point person for each student's health plan. This is typically your school nurse if you have one, or a specially trained administrator or staff member. They are the go-to individual, the central hub for that student's health information and coordination. Second, it's paramount to keep those communication lines wide open with families. They are your most invaluable resource, your primary partners, and their insights are critical. Regular check-ins, even brief ones, can make a huge difference. Third, actively build a culture where staff feel completely comfortable reporting any concerns or questions immediately, without any fear of judgment or reprimand. This culture of psychological safety allows you to catch potential issues or subtle changes in a student's condition before they escalate into major problems. Fourth, review and update those plans regularly, and I mean regularly. Kids grow, their health needs can evolve, medications change, and even family contact information can shift. Your healthcare plans and emergency care plans are not static documents. They are living, breathing guides that require consistent attention and revision. And finally, never hesitate to advocate fiercely for what you need. If your school genuinely requires more dedicated nursing support, additional training resources, or specialized medical equipment, speak up. Articulate your needs clearly and passionately to your district administration, state education department, or even relevant local health authorities. Your voice, informed by the daily realities of your school, matters immensely in securing the resources necessary to truly support all your students. By rigorously putting these practices into place, you're doing so much more than just preparing for the worst-case scenario. You're actively constructing a truly inclusive, profoundly safe, and deeply supportive school environment where every single child, regardless of their health challenges, can feel secure enough to fully engage, learn, grow, and simply experience the joy of being a kid. And that, my friends, that profound impact is precisely what it's all about. That wraps up our very first episode of From the Mind of Jess. I genuinely hope that these insights and practical strategies help you feel more confident, equipped, and empowered in your vital role of supporting all the incredible students in your care. For even more detailed guidance and best practices, I strongly encourage you to explore the extensive resources offered by the National Association of School Nurses, NASN. And always cross-reference with your specific state's guidelines and regulations for student health. Until next time, lead with profound care, unwavering dedication, and always keep those kids safe. And if you found this episode valuable, if it resonated with you, please do me a huge favor. Take a moment to like, comment, or share this show. Your engagement is what helps us keep this train running and brings these important conversations to even more school leaders like you. Thank you for tuning in.